Well, as the Fed looks like it's set to cut rates next month, could the housing headaches finally see some relief? Freddie Mac reporting mortgage rates have fallen to a 10-month low. The 30-year right now, the fixed, is at 6.56%.
And summarize the dire straits of the real estate market. As Jerry was pointing out, reports on real estate suggest there are few buyers out there. Sales are 1.3% below where they were in the same time in 2024.
The housing market isn't just cooling. It's stalling out in ways we haven't seen since the last big crash. In some cities, sales have dropped more than 90%, and homes that once sparked bidding wars are now sitting empty for months. Most buyers have already walked away, but the signs point to something bigger. A wave of price cuts that could reshape entire neighborhoods in 2025. If you wait until the mainstream news catches up, you'll already be behind. So let's get into it. Here are the 10 U.S. cities where demand has vanished and where prices are likely to tumble next year. Number 10. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The Grand Strand's housing market just hit a brick wall at 90 miles per hour. This isn't your typical seasonal slowdown. It's a complete market seizure that's leaving developers, investors, and homeowners shell-shocked. Home sales volume collapsed by 82% year over year, according to the South Carolina Association of Realtors. Properties that would have sparked bidding wars in 2022 are now sitting empty for 6 months or more. The median days on market exploded from 18 to 203 days. That's not a cooling, that's a deep freeze. Here's what triggered the exodus. Insurance companies fled faster than tourists after a hurricane warning. Coastal insurance premiums skyrocketed by 150% in 18 months. One Myrtle Beach realtor told me her clients are getting annual insurance quotes for $15,000 on $400,000 homes. Do the math. That's 3.7% of the home's value just for insurance. Hurricane risk models changed everything. Climate scientists updated their projections, and suddenly Myrtle Beach transformed from manageable risk to uninsurable nightmare in actuarial tables. Flood zone maps expanded dramatically. Properties that were never considered flood risk now require expensive flood insurance. Homeowners association fees are crushing dreams. Monthly HOA costs average $800, but special assessments for storm damage and deferred maintenance are pushing total costs over $1,500 monthly. One oceanfront complex levied a $30,000 special assessment per unit for seawall repairs. New construction projects are being abandoned mid-build. Developers are walking away from contracts and forfeiting deposits rather than complete projects with no buyers waiting. The beach town that promised retirement paradise is delivering financial purgatory instead. Number 9. Boise, Idaho. The Treasure Valley's housing market just lost its luster, and the correction is brutal enough to make California refugees regret ever leaving the Golden State. This isn't a gentle price adjustment, it's a financial earthquake that's reshaping an entire regional economy. Sales volume plummeted 79% compared to peak pandemic levels. The Ada County Association of Realtors reports that homes priced above $500,000 are essentially unmarketable. Luxury properties sit abandoned like expensive monuments to poor timing and worse judgment. Local wages never caught up to imported California prices. Boise's median household income hovers around $65,000, while median home prices peaked at $620,000. That's nearly 10 times annual income, a ratio that screams unsustainability to anyone with basic math skills. Construction permits tell the real story. Builders pulled nearly 40,000 permits during the boom years. Those homes are completing now into a market with no buyers. New construction neighborhoods look like abandoned movie sets. Streets full of finished homes with zero occupancy. HOA dues being charged on properties with no residents to pay them. Insurance costs are skyrocketing due to wildfire risks that nobody calculated during the buying frenzy. The Treasure Valley experienced its worst fire season on record, and insurance companies responded with premium increases of 60 to 100%. Some carriers simply canceled policies outright. Political tensions between locals and transplants reached a boiling point. City council meetings became shouting matches about growth management and infrastructure costs. The small-town charm that attracted newcomers is being poisoned by the financial stress they brought with them. Number 8. Las Vegas, Nevada. Sin City's housing market is experiencing its own version of a casino massacre, except this time the house is losing along with everyone who bet on continued growth. The desert oasis that promised endless prosperity is delivering endless pain for recent buyers. Home sales dropped 86% from pandemic peak levels. The Las Vegas Realtors Association reports the worst buyer activity since 2009. Properties languish on the market for 4 to 6 months, with desperate sellers offering everything from cars to vacation packages just to attract offers. The water crisis finally hit home with buyers. Lake Mead reached historically low levels, triggering federal water restrictions. New construction projects face water allocation limitations. Insurance companies started factoring water scarcity into their risk models, and premiums reflected the uncertainty. Some carriers won't write policies on properties in certain zip codes anymore. Casino industry consolidation eliminated thousands of middle management positions. MGM, Caesars, and Wynn all streamlined operations post-pandemic. The high-income buyers who purchased seven-figure condos overlooking the Strip are now networking on LinkedIn instead of closing escrow. Corporate relocations to Vegas stopped abruptly when companies realized the talent pool had been priced out. Heat records are breaking annually, and electric bills reflect the extreme cooling costs. Summer utility bills commonly exceed $800 monthly. Insurance companies factor extreme heat into their risk calculations, especially for older properties with aging HVAC systems. The oversupply situation is terminal. Builders have 18 months of completed inventory sitting empty. Master planned communities with amenities but no residents. Golf courses maintained for nobody. The suburban sprawl that defined Vegas growth is now its biggest liability. Number 7, Phoenix, Arizona. The Valley of the Sun transformed into the Valley of Sinking Home Values, where the only thing rising faster than the temperature is the inventory of unsold houses. Arizona's largest metropolitan area is experiencing a housing market meltdown that's making 2008 look like a practice round. Sales volume cratered by 77% year over year, according to the Arizona Regional Multiple Listing Service. Homes that generated multiple offers 18 months ago are now receiving 0 offers after 6 months on the market. The median days on market jumped from 15 to 192 days. Climate reality is crushing buyer confidence. Phoenix recorded 31 consecutive days above 110 degrees this summer. The human toll was real. Heat-related hospital admissions spiked, and some neighborhoods lost power during peak demand periods. Insurance companies updated their risk models, and Phoenix properties now carry surcharges for extreme heat exposure. Water restrictions are getting serious enough to affect property values. The Central Arizona project allocation was cut by 18%. New development projects face water availability reviews. Buyers are asking hard questions about long-term sustainability that sellers can't answer convincingly. The California exodus reversed direction. Remote workers who drove Phoenix prices from $300,000 to $700,000 median discovered that saving on income taxes doesn't offset extreme living costs. Utilities alone can exceed $600 monthly during summer months. Many California transplants are returning home or relocating to more temperate climates. HOA fees in master planned communities are becoming unsustainable as occupancy rates fall. Golf course communities are struggling to maintain amenities with fewer residents paying dues. Special assessments for infrastructure repairs are hitting homeowners already underwater on their mortgages. Markets are shifting faster than most people realize. Hit subscribe now so you're not the last to know when prices break in your area. And stick with me, because the top 3 cities are where the crash looks brutal. Number 6. Austin, Texas. Keep Austin Weird just became Keep Austin Affordable because the tech capital of Texas is experiencing a housing market reality check that's wiping out a generation of wealth. The live music capital is playing a funeral dirge for property values. Home sales volume fell 84% from pandemic peaks. Travis County recorded its lowest sales activity since 2007. Properties sit on the market for 4 to 7 months, with sellers offering desperate incentives like rate buydowns, closing cost assistance, and even cryptocurrency bonuses. The tech industry implosion devastated demand. Meta cut 15,000 Austin jobs. Amazon reduced its Austin workforce by 40%. Apple delayed its planned campus expansion indefinitely. Tesla's Gigafactory laid off 12% of workers. The high-income buyers who justified million-dollar median prices are updating their LinkedIn profiles instead of house hunting. Oracle moved its headquarters to Nashville, taking hundreds of high-paying positions with it. Dell Technologies implemented permanent remote work policies, reducing Austin office demand. The corporate relocations that drove Austin's boom reversed into corporate departures. Construction oversupply is catastrophic. Austin has 67,000 housing units under construction or recently completed. Most were started when demand peaked in 2022. Entire neighborhoods of new homes sit vacant. Builders are offering finished homes at cost just to clear inventory. University of Texas enrollment growth stalled as out-of-state students reconsider the value proposition. Student housing investments are hemorrhaging money as occupancy rates fall and rental rates decline. The university town dynamics that supported Austin's growth are weakening significantly. The demographic shift is undeniable. Austin lost population for the first time since the 1980s. The young professionals and creatives who defined Austin culture are relocating to more affordable cities. The authenticity that attracted growth is being suffocated by the financial consequences of that growth. Number 5. Naples, Florida. Southwest Florida's luxury playground is experiencing a nightmare scenario where hurricane winds are the least of homeowners' worries. The retirement paradise that attracted wealthy retirees is now trapping them in properties they can't sell at any reasonable price. Sales volume plummeted 91% in the luxury segment, according to Naples Area Board of Realtors data. Properties above $1 million are essentially unmarketable. The median days on market for luxury homes exceeded 300 days, with many properties cycling through multiple price reductions. Hurricane Ian shattered the insurance market permanently. Property insurance premiums increased by 200 to 400% post-storm. Citizens. Property insurance, Florida's insurer of last resort, has waiting lists. Some carriers exited Florida entirely. Annual insurance costs now exceed $15,000 on modest $500,000 homes. Flood zone remapping expanded dramatically after Ian's storm surge data was analyzed. Properties that never flooded now require expensive flood insurance. The Federal Emergency Management Agency updated base flood elevation requirements, forcing costly home modifications for compliance. Seasonal rental markets collapsed as vacation budgets tightened. Properties purchased as winter retreats are sitting empty while carrying costs continue. The luxury short-term rental market that justified high purchase prices evaporated almost overnight. Country club assessments are crushing owners. Golf course communities are levying special assessments for storm damage, deferred maintenance, and reduced membership revenues. Assessments of $50,000 to $100,000 per property are common. Some communities are considering bankruptcy rather than continue operations. International buyer demand disappeared completely. European and Canadian buyers who historically purchased Naples properties as winter escapes are staying away. Currency fluctuations, travel complications, and climate concerns eliminated an entire buyer segment that supported luxury pricing. Number 4. San Francisco, California. The city by the bay is experiencing a housing market earthquake that's shaking foundations both literal and financial. San Francisco's transformation from tech paradise to urban wasteland is complete, and property values are reflecting the new reality. Home sales volume fell 73% year over year. The San Francisco Association of Realtors reports the worst buyer activity since the dot-com crash. Properties priced above $2 million received virtually no showing activity. The median days on market exceeded 250 days for luxury properties. Tech industry exodus accelerated dramatically. Twitter's headquarters sits largely empty after staff reductions. Salesforce reduced its San Francisco footprint by 60%. Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash all implemented remote work policies that eliminated the need for expensive San Francisco housing. The high-income buyers who justified seven-figure median prices are working from Austin, Miami, or international locations. Commercial real estate collapse is contaminating residential markets. Downtown office vacancy rates exceed 30%. Retail businesses are closing permanently rather than renewing leases. The urban amenities that justified high housing costs, restaurants, shopping, cultural venues, are disappearing rapidly. Crime and quality of life deterioration reached a tipping point. Property crime increased 47% year over year. Auto break-ins, package theft, and vandalism are routine occurrences in formerly safe neighborhoods. Families with children are relocating to suburbs or different states entirely. The demographic that supported San Francisco's housing market is fleeing. Proposition 13 tax assessments based on peak values are creating a secondary affordability crisis. Homeowners are paying property taxes on values that no longer exist in the marketplace. Tax revenue is declining while city services face increasing demand from social problems. The tech talent pipeline is drying up. Stanford and UC Berkeley graduates are accepting job offers in Austin, Seattle, and remote positions rather than face San Francisco housing costs. The innovation ecosystem that justified extreme housing prices is relocating to more affordable markets. Number 3. Cape Coral, Florida. Southwest Florida's fastest growing city just became its fastest crashing market, where waterfront dreams are turning into underwater nightmares at a pace that's shocking even seasoned real estate professionals. The canal city that marketed itself as affordable paradise is delivering expensive purgatory. Home sales volume collapsed by 88% according to Lee County records. Properties that generated bidding wars during the pandemic now sit empty for 8 to 12 months. The median days on market exploded from 22 to 278 days. Price reductions are universal and often exceed 20% of original listing prices. Hurricane Ian destroyed more than buildings. It shattered buyer confidence permanently. Storm surge reached levels that supposedly had 1 in 500-year probability. Flood insurance requirements expanded in neighborhoods that never flooded before. The Federal Emergency Management Agency remapped flood zones extensively, requiring expensive modifications to existing homes for compliance. Insurance availability became the defining factor for marketability. Many national carriers exited Lee County entirely. Citizens Property Insurance has 18-month waiting lists. Annual premiums now exceed $12,000 on modest $400,000 homes, if coverage is available at all. The construction boom created catastrophic oversupply. Cape Coral issued 47,000 building permits during the pandemic boom. Most homes are completing now into a market with virtually no buyers. Entire subdivisions of completed homes sit vacant. Builders are offering finished properties at cost plus 10% just to clear inventory. New home construction continues despite zero buyer demand because canceling projects would trigger larger financial losses. The pipeline of completing homes will flood an already saturated market for at least 24 months. Seasonal resident patterns changed permanently. Wealthy retirees who maintained winter homes in Cape Coral are selling rather than risk another hurricane season. The seasonal population that supported local businesses and services is contracting rapidly. Number 2. Salt Lake City, Utah. The crossroads of the West just became a crossroads to financial disaster, where Silicon Slope skiing turned into slippery slope economics. Utah's capital city is experiencing a housing market avalanche that's burying homeowner equity under an unstoppable force of economic reality. Sales volume disintegrated by 93% from pandemic peak levels. The Salt Lake Board of Realtors reports the most severe buyer strike in state history. Properties priced above $600,000 are receiving zero offers regardless of condition or location. The median days on market reached 297 days. Construction oversupply is historically unprecedented. Utah County has 34,000 housing units under construction or recently completed. The Wasatch Front built more homes in 3 years than it absorbed in the previous decade. Master-planned communities with finished infrastructure serve populations that don't exist. Apartment construction continued despite rental market saturation. New complexes are offering 6 months free rent and waiving deposits. Some developments are converting planned apartments to condominiums, but condo buyers are equally scarce. Demographic shifts are accelerating the decline. California refugees who drove Utah's housing boom are returning home as remote work policies stabilize. The population growth that justified rapid price appreciation reversed into population decline for the first time since the 1970s. Religious migration patterns that historically supported Utah growth are changing. Young families are relocating to more affordable states where single incomes can support home ownership. The cultural foundation of Utah's growth is weakening significantly. Air quality concerns are affecting buyer psychology. Salt Lake Valley's inversion layers create winter air pollution that rivals Los Angeles on bad days. Health-conscious families who move to Utah for outdoor recreation are reconsidering as air quality deteriorates. Climate change is worsening inversion frequency and intensity. Park City and surrounding mountain communities that commanded premium prices are experiencing the steepest declines. Climate change is affecting snowfall reliability. Ski season economics are deteriorating as visitor patterns change permanently. Number 1. Palm Springs, California. The desert oasis that epitomized mid-century modern cool has become the epicenter of a housing market heat stroke that's leaving buyers, sellers, and investors gasping for relief. California's playground for the wealthy is now a cautionary tale about what happens when speculation meets reality in the unforgiving desert sun. Home sales volume evaporated by 96%, the most complete buyer strike recorded in any major U.S. market. The Desert Association of Realtors reports that luxury properties above $1 million haven't sold in over 4 months. Properties are sitting on the market for over a year with multiple dramatic price reductions. Short-term rental regulations killed the investment market entirely. Palm Springs implemented emergency ordinances limiting short-term rentals to 14 days per month maximum. Coachella Valley cities followed with similar restrictions. Properties purchased specifically for Airbnb revenue are now worthless for their intended purpose. Investors are desperately trying to convert rentals back to traditional housing, but oversupply is crushing rental rates too. The vacation rental collapse eliminated the cash buyers who drove luxury pricing. Properties that commanded $800 per night during Coachella season are struggling to book at $200. Occupancy rates fell from 85% to 37% year over year. Climate change made the desert unlivable for extended periods. Palm Springs recorded 119 consecutive days above 100 degrees this year. Electric bills commonly exceed $800 monthly during cooling season. Some developments experienced rolling blackouts during peak demand. Insurance companies factor extreme heat exposure into their risk calculations. Water restrictions are becoming severe enough to affect property values. Desert Water Agency implemented permanent conservation measures. Landscaping requirements changed dramatically. The lush resort aesthetics that justified high prices are no longer sustainable or legal. For buyers, patience and due diligence will be your edge. Always run the numbers on insurance, HOA dues, and flood or climate risk before signing anything. For investors, focus on properties with real cash flow. Forget chasing appreciation and avoid negative leverage at all costs. For sellers, pricing like it's still 2022 will only leave your home sitting. Align with today's reality if you want to move it. If this breakdown gave you clarity, hit subscribe for weekly housing market signals. More importantly, protect your wallet. Subscribe now and share this with anyone looking to buy in 2025. And drop a comment. Are you seeing incentives, insurance spikes, or buyer pullbacks where you live?